Hey there everyone, this is Anthony. In the last video that we talked about with powers and exponents, we saw, for example, how 4 to the second power is equal to 16. All right. In this video, we're going to be talking about a little introduction to roots, and we're going to talk about square roots, and we're going to talk about cube roots as well. All right, and it's sort of like we're definitely going to be dealing with the powers, but it's kind of like working in reverse, kind of. All right, so you may be given a problem where it says find the square root of 16. All right, and we can kind of think about our powers from the previous video, and if we know that we're looking for the square root of 16, well, we want to find, okay, what number multiplies with itself to get 16. And as you can see here, well, the notation for the square root is this symbol here, and there's no number right here. Usually there is. If it's like the cube root, there'll be a 3. If it's the fourth root, there'll be a 4. This is called the index. But when it's the square root, it's implied that there's a 2 here. It's kind of like when you see x plus 1, or x plus 2. Well, what's the coefficient in front of x? It's a 1. It's implied to be there. All right. So it's implied that we have the square root of 16. So we're looking for the same number to multiply with itself to get 16. Now you may already know that this is equal to 4. All right, but if we didn't, take a look at this power example from our previous video. And if the notation for the square root is this symbol, all right, whenever you do, because we have an equation, something equals something. So whenever we change one of the sides, we have to do the same thing to the other side. So let's take the square root of 16. And if we take the square root of 16, well, we have to take the square root of 4 to the second power. And the idea is that we want the index to match with the power of the base. So because this is 2 and this is 2, our answer will equal 4. All right. And now in later videos, we're going to break this down a little bit more. And we'll we'll talk about this in greater detail later on. Let's get some more practice here. Let's say we want to take the square root of 49. All right. Well, we're looking for a number to multiply with itself that gets us 49. So you may remember from multiplication tables, that's 7 times 7. And 7 times 7 is 7 squared. And because now the index matches the power, our answer is equal to 7. Because 7 is the number, when you multiply it with itself, it gets us the 49. All right. Let's do a few more, get some repetition. All right. Very, very similar. The only thing that's different, there's a negative in front, but that's not going to change what we do. We're going to focus on the inside of the square root first. All right. So same idea. 81. Well, what two numbers multiply to get 81? And those numbers need to be the same number. You know, that's going to be 9 times 9. 9 times 9 is 9 squared. And now that we said the index matches the power, our answer is just going to be whatever the base is equal to. And then we're going to bring down the negative that was originally in front, and we have our answer. All right. Let's take a look at a cube root problem. Let's say we have the cube root of 8. Right. Start small, and then we'll get larger numbers later on. All right. Now the cube root of 8, we're looking for a number to multiply with itself. Now the same number that's the index, so we're looking for 3 times. So 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is equal to 8. All right, so we haven't changed anything. The index is the same. It's still a cube root. 8, we just rewrote that as 2 times 2 times 2. Because now we know that 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 2 to the third power. And now if you notice, look at that, the index matches the power. And because these are the same, our answer is whatever the base is equal to. All right. And the more that you do of these, the better that you'll be. It just takes some practice, that's all. Let's do 2 more. Let's do the 4th root of, let's see, of 81. All right. Now, what I suggest is when you start to get to these larger indexes, or indices, you can make a little chart. And so in this case, we have the 4th index. So we know we're going to look for a number raised to the 4th power so that the power matches the index. So 1 to the 4th is 1. 2 to the 4th, well, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Times 4 is 16. All right. 3 to the 4th. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Feel free to get a calculator if you want one. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9, 81. Oh, look at that. So we see that our number pops up right away. So we know it's probably going to be something. Well, we're going to need to replace this with 3 to the 4th, because 3 to the 4th equals 81. You see? And now that we see the index matches the exponent, the power, our answers are just going to be whatever the base is equal to. All right, one more example. All right. So this one is going to kind of be like our segue that ends this video and begins the next video. When we come to a square root, we see it's a square root because the index, there's no number, so it's implied to be 2. But we've got a fraction. All right. There's a couple of ways that we can handle this. We could consider it just like we have been with our whole numbers. All right. Or what we're going to come to see in the next video is that whenever we have the square root or the cube root or the 4th root or the 5th root, whatever the root may be with the index, and there's a fraction, we're allowed to break this up. And we're allowed to take the square root of the numerator and the square root of the denominator. All right, so a little trick to help you there. All right, so if we can't think about, okay, what number multiplies with itself to get 1/4, then we can break it up. And now we can say, okay, well, what's the square root of 1? Well, the square root of 1, remember 1 squared is also equal to 1. So now we see that the index matches the power. So our numerator is just the 1, and we keep bringing the negative over. The negative's on the outside. It has no effect on the inside of the square root. And then the square root of 4, well, that's equal to 2 squared. And now that you see the index, which isn't there, but technically it's a 2, the 2 matches this power so that the answer is just the base. And we see negative 1/2 is our answer. Now, if you want to check that, let's try this out. Is 1/2 squared equal to 1/4? Yeah, because 1/2 times 1/2, remember from our multiplying real numbers video, we just extend our fraction. Oops, sorry. We extend our fraction. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. And we see that 1/2 squared is 1/4. And so the index, 2, matches the power, 2. So our answer is just whatever the base is equal to. All right. So that's a short little intro to the square root, cube root, any type of roots and simplifying. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, you can help me out, like, subscribe, tell your friends, and be sure to tune in to the next video where we continue to learn and show the different techniques to solving these.